and make sure your mind was regulating properly, you would be in the unemployment line. But because he was so good to you when you were not good to him, he blessed you to get that master's degree. Did you hear what they called it? A master's degree. You ain't no master. He is the master. You got a master's degree, a PhD, you got all them other kind of degrees hanging on your wall. You ought to put one up there that says, if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, put an arrow that says I wouldn't have this, I wouldn't have this, and I wouldn't have this. So this means more to me than that, because I realize if it had not been for him, I would never be able to obtain any of this. And after having all of that, you still stingy. God has to pry $10 out of your wallet. Has to pry $20 out of your wallet as if he really needs your $20. He's trying to bless you because he that soweth sparingly shall reap sparingly, but he that soweth bountifully shall reap bountifully. How you gonna get a dynamic divine healing giving God $2? That's an oxymoron. It don't make no sense for you to sow that little when you want something that great. If you want a great blessing, you gotta sow a great seed. If you want God to do something dynamic in your life, stop digging for the pennies in your pocket and bring God an offering that says, I know it's already done. So send yourself. So sometimes we have to back up and think. Because one thing I have discovered, Mother, is that God, it's difficult for God to bless a stingy individual. I'm going to go past 2 o'clock. Is that all right? If you have to leave, go ahead. I'll follow you. It's difficult for God to bless a stingy individual. Please note that I did not say a stingy person could not prosper and obtain wealth. I said it's difficult for God to bless a stingy individual. Because the truth of the matter is, a stingy person will hold on to what they have. And what they have will cause them to prosper accordingly. In other words, they will prosper and they will obtain wealth based on what they have in their hand. But I've got news for you, that if you'll open up that hand, oh, help me here, Holy Ghost. How many know as long as your hand is closed and you're stingy and you're a miser, nothing can come in because you ain't letting anything go out. Which makes it difficult for God to bless a stingy individual. Because at the core of your being, you stingy. And you'll never reap the manifold blessings that come from God. There are some levels of prosperity that you will receive because you're stingy and it's in your hands. But how many of you know what's in your hands can only be added? But when you hook up with God, he moves into multiplication. And he wants to multiply what you had. I wish I had somebody in here who would be honest and say, I am an authentic giver. And one day I became an authentic giver and opened up my hand. God didn't just drip out blessings. He poured out blessings that I did not have room enough to receive. He didn't add to my life. He multiplied to my life. Where are the people at who going to be honest? I'm not going to apologize for where I am in God. I used to live in the projects. Thank God for the projects. But he multiplied me out of the projects and put me in a nicer place. I ain't got no problem with the project, but how many of you know the projects is not my destiny? I worked at Burger King, but how many of you know Burger King is not my destiny? I want to own the burger and the king. That's what our problem is. We're sitting here looking like we can't make it. The devil is a liar. God ain't into broke churches. He's not into broke people. He's not into people who he know he has anointed to be a blessing, and you're sitting up in here wondering where your blessing is. It's in your hands. But if you'll open up your hands and let him bless you, he'll multiply it. Tell somebody, stop being stingy.